Welcome, everybody, to another episode of UHS Presents. I am joined here, as per the usual, by my co-host, Lori. Hello, Lori.
Hey.
How's it going? You look like you were posing. It looked like you were ready and posed for the camera to start. Or were you just like praying that your shit isn't gonna break? There's gonna be no malfunctions today. No.
Right. I won't fall asleep. I won't. Yeah, all the things. You know. We're doing great.
I didn't know you had to worry about you falling asleep.
I've had caffeine, so I don't think so.
I think it'll be okay. I think we'll be all right.
I think so.
I had a random paintbrush sitting right there. We're fine.
They're just falling from the sky.
It just fell right on top of my mouse. It was fine. Huh? We're good. Crisis averted. So, UHS news. What do we got?
I'm trying to think of like what I can talk about. So I'm packing the rest. Yes, I'm packing the rest of Power Broker today, hopefully, and we'll ship all of it out tomorrow. So anyone waiting for Power Broker 2 is going to get that. Surgeon 5 is in progress. Been seeing more pages come in.
Yes, I saw a little bit of it. It's, oh my God, it's so insane. Y'all are gonna just shit your pants when you see it. It's for real. It's so good.
It looks so good. What else? Art of Staniak, of course. Campaign closed. We made a bunch of records. It's really crazy. I sent out the surveys for that. So if you got a commission and you want to submit your commission request, you should do that like now so we can get all these to stand as soon as possible and get those started.
Right. And if you want your real name to be printed in the acknowledgments and not your screen handle, yeah, you need to fill that thing out. So check your email, check your junk mail, do the thing.
Yeah. Because you guys basically have until Friday to fill out your survey, and then your backer name is going in the book. So even if your backer name is, Fred69, like that's what's going in the book. Like, so fill that shit out.
Exactly. Now, I forgot to put this up last week. Stan made an update about the book, about backing it, and I screen capped it because it was hilarious. Support our Kickstarter campaign. It's very important for our planet. And like that can be applied to every single UHS Kickstarter. Am I wrong?
That's correct.
I'm never wrong. So yeah, like I was just like, I don't know what it was about it. It just, I was very tickled by that. And
we're saving the planet.
Yes. Saving the world.
And making comics.
Saving the world. So, yeah, that's all I could think about that we're allowed to talk about right now. So, stay tuned because I'm sure there's always going to be something new. I mean, I said that like I didn't know for sure that there's more good shit. Like I know. I'm like privy to that information. Like we're for real. So, all right. Yeah. Today, if you looked at the thumbnail, you will know we are talking about Judge Dredd. And who better? Like, do we even know anybody that could possibly know more about Judge Dredd? I don't know. Maybe we were talking him up too much. He's probably going to yell at me now, isn't he? Let's just bring him in. Let's just say hi to Ian. Let's bring on Ian. Hi, Ian.
Oh my God, Sarah. Oh. Hi, guys. And I know Fred69 really well. He's a good guy.
Right?
That's why you backed the book.
Yeah.
That's just, yeah.
He's a big
How are we all?
You know what, though? Speaking of that before, we always get a backer, and their backer name is Poop Office. And I don't actually know what the person's actual name is. So Poop Office, if you don't fill out your survey, you're going in there as Poop Office.
That rings a bell. I've seen that somewhere.
Really?
I must have, like maybe on the art book or something.
Oh, yeah, it could be.
Probably, yeah, because that's, Poop Office pretty much backs everything, right?
It gets your attention.
It sure does. And they have my attention anyway. Yeah.
Maybe it's my adult brain, but I kind of think I found out who it was at some point. I'm sure during the art book I found out who it was. Anyway, that's by the by.
Oh no, that's exciting. It's a mystery. I didn't know we knew who it was. Now
Yeah, like what if Poop 69 is just a very wealthy bot? We don't know. Like now we at least can assume that it's a human, right?
Who cares as long as they're stiffing up the cash?
That's true.
I guess.
That's true.
So I guess we should stay semi on topic, right?
Yeah, because that's gonna happen.
Well,
right.
No, it's not, but we're gonna try. Like that's the goal. I mean, sometimes we even almost succeed, and sometimes we almost keep these at an hour too. Like sometimes almost.
I will promise to be on my very best behavior.
Oh well, we're not monetized. You don't have to do that.
Okay, cool.
Bust out the liquor from behind.
This is why you get an opaque cup and nobody knows what you're drinking. This is witch's brew, literally.
That's totally
I love
water,
this
though.
cup. Look at this thing.
Nope.
Huge.
Apple juice. I'm hitting the hard apple juice.
It's good for you. It's good for you.
Come on, then, you guys watched both Dredd movies?
Yes, we did. We had Lori and I had a watch party with our significant others. There, we watched both Dredds last night. Right in a row. Well, we did have a small break in between because it's like a bathroom break, and we had to get more popcorn and stuff. So
yeah, sure.
But we watched them back to back, and they're only 90-minute movies. I was surprised because I knew the 95 Dredd, like obviously it's 90-minute. They're all 90-minute movies in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
Until Titanic, they were all 90 minutes.
Right.
When Titanic came along and fucked everything up.
And some may say 90 minutes was too long.
Maybe.
That's also fair.
Yeah, I know. I mean, kind of. I think 90% of the Dredd fans I speak to are not big fans of the Stallone movie.
Well, they're
right,
just like Stallone then, because if you're a Stallone fan, then it's a good movie.
Yeah, and this is the thing. I think it's a good little sci-fi movie.
Yeah,
it's just not Dredd.
Right.
Yeah, and after learning as much as I have in the past week about Dredd, I'm like, I agree. I still love the Stallone Dredd, but I agree it is a Stallone movie, not a Dredd movie.
Yeah, it's enjoyable as like a separate entity.
Yes.
Yeah,
just like a 90s sci-fi movie and stuff.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, there is some cool bits and pieces in there. Like I like the rendition of Mega City 1 and stuff. Yes. And just for people that don't know, so there's Mega City 1, there's Mega City 2, there's Tech City, there's Brit City and stuff. So Mega City 1, in its first iteration, it got a little smaller. So in its first iteration, Mega City 1 is a city that stretches from Boston to Florida.
Oh, so they're not
okay.
They call it Mega City.
Yeah, but it's just one city, and then there's the Mega City 2 and Tech City.
Which the Eastern Seaboard is, though, isn't it? Like I have not been across the whole thing, but it just kind of seems one big city. So you're
kind of going East Coast,
in reality,
basically.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Katie's here. Katie just said, "Hey guys, not sure how much I'll be able to watch as my internet's being stupid." All of our internets are always being stupid. That's just how it is.
I know.
And Katie's in the UK too, so she's up in the way past your all bedtime too.
And then sort of in between the mega cities, which you'll have seen from the Dredd film, is the Cursed Earth.
Yes.
So everything outside of kind of city walls is a radioactive wasteland and shit like that.
I don't know. Aside from the cannibalism, I kind of like the Cursed Earth. Like it looks like a fun taste.
Do you know that was the only other thing I think that kind of worked okay from the Stallone movie was
Sure.
kind of the Cursed Earth and the Angel family, and Mean's
Yes.
great. Mean Machine's great, and
Yeah,
And,
they
uh,
don't
Earth at
really
all.
address any of that in the new movie.
Yeah.
I think
They make a comment about the cursed earth, but we never really see it, right?
I think it's a whole budget thing. You know,
I
it
think
really was a kind of tiny little small budget thing, and that's why you didn't get to see Megacity the way it is in the Stallone film, which is kind of, you know, this huge, sprawling, epic, weird ass building thing. Like if you ever look at any of the Dredd stuff that I draw, none of the buildings make any sense whatsoever. They're just impossible. They're just ridiculous. And some guys do draw them more kind of architecturally correct, but I just draw them stupid.
But it's the future. You can draw them however the hell
exactly,
you want.
Exactly.
It's a comic. Like you should draw them weird.
There is a kind of like precedent in the comics and how they're drawn by like a lot of kind of Carlos Esquerra, which was really the first guy to draw Dredd, and like Mick McMahon stuff. Yeah, weird ass buildings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But then I suppose, there's no, in the urban Dredd, I don't think there's any massively recognizable villain stuff from the comics, at least. My mum was great. Lena Headley's great anyway.
Yeah.
She's a really good bad guy.
Mm.
I mean, the character and the actor, like they're both. It was a really good bad guy. The whole thing was written very well. I thought. I mean, like she's scary.
Yeah,
like, she's a scary lady.
Yeah,
it's great, and I think Carl Urban makes a really good Dredd as well.
He's so good. He's so efficient. Like there's very little. There's no rambling. There's no exposition.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday too. Yeah, like no explaining why things are the way they are. They did do some of that in Judge Dredd in the 95 Dredd.
Yeah.
But not like it's not the worst I've ever like I keep thinking about the movie Free Guy and how they explained what an NPC was, and I'm just like, no, you don't have to explain context clues. People aren't morons. Come on.
I figure that's a Hollywood thing, isn't it? It's kind of
they just think that because the old dudes in charge don't know, that means that none of us know.
Exactly.
It kind of felt like more of a comic book because of that. Because, well, at least for me, I don't like comic books that explain everything they're showing in the panel.
No.
And you know, in the first Dredd, I want to say like at least 6 minutes was reserved for explaining that the guns are voice activated.
Yes.
And it's fucking obnoxious. Yeah. And in the new movie, he's just like, he just talks and it activates his gun. And we're like, oh.
And
observe it and
we're
see that
smart.
Yeah, and they
we
just did a
figure this out.
Zoomed in on the LCD screen and it just showed up. It's like that's all you needed. You did. I kind of for the purposes of the trial in the 95 Dredd, I get why they explained some of that stuff, but like all the judges knew that too, and we didn't really need to hear that much about it. And the DNA signature and yada yada yada. Like it didn't happen.
So the stuff in the 95 Dredd, I mean, there is a bunch of stuff from the comics. I mean, the Angel Gang in the Cursed Earth and so on, the family rather, they're all comics characters. Chief Judge Fargo is a comics character. Hershey is a comics character, although nothing like that. Rob Schneider's character, no. I
like he was like the comic relief in there because Stallone played the shit out of that role. Like he was so serious, like Stallone serious. And then Rob Schneider came in and was like talking shit to him because once he stopped being a judge, of course. Like I liked him. I liked Fergie. That's unpopular opinion, I guess.
But I think in a way the Stallone thing was always going to be on the back foot for one reason and one reason only. He took his helmet off.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a point that I was like, with Carl Urban, they could have hired a total nobody and paid him $1 for the movie, because then you never see it. All he had to do was have a strong jaw.
But that's the thing, you see. You've technically never ever seen Dredd's face ever, like in 45 years.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes
kind
sense.
of like in the pages, you kind of see the odd thing, like as for example, like stuff I'm drawing at the moment. He's had a medical exam and he's kind of half putting his helmet on from the back, but
Right.
you never ever see his face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
for sure. I kind of almost thought, as I was chewing on the movies after we watched them last night, I kind of was thinking that if you spin it the right way, the 2012 Dredd is almost like a prequel to the 95 Dredd, because
I can see what you mean.
people don't seem to know or care who Dredd is. Only the other cops know who Dredd is and know why you should be afraid of Dredd. But in the movie, in the 95 Dredd, everybody's like, that's Judge Dredd, oh shit. And so it's,
but then see, there's a certain amount of mystery in that. If you kind of get if you take like the Urban Dredd, and you get Perps, which is what Mega City 1 call the criminals, literally just the mention of Dredd's name, people go, oh fuck, oh shit, you know. And that should be enough for you in the first kind of 5 or 10 minutes. If a hardened criminal is going, oh shit, I'm scared of this guy, you don't need to explain anything else.
Yes, right.
You know, it's kind of it's exactly what you said, Laurie. You know, he's kind of, you don't need all that exposition.
yeah, and that was nice. That was nice to have that. I mean,
Yeah,
I am sorry that I didn't watch that movie sooner, because it's just a really good movie.
The new one, yeah.
Movie.
We're kind of hoping. I mean, it's been stated, it's been released and stuff, and we're just not made. We're supposed to be getting a TV series, like a Netflix series. I'm trying to remember what it's called, but it's called something like Mega City 1 and Tales of Judge Dredd or something like that. So Dredd's not in every single episode or whatever. But he said if he's asked to do it, then Carl Urban will do it again.
Oh, good. Yeah, because he's a fan. He's a fan of Dredd. He has to be a fan. Yeah.
I just googled it really quick. Yeah, it's called Judge Dredd: Mega City 1.
There you go. I got it the wrong way around.
So yeah, you were close enough. Close enough and everybody's gonna call it Mega City 1. Nobody's gonna call it Judge Dredd: Mega City 1, because like that's we probably will all end up start calling it like MCO or something like that, because that's what we do. We fuck everything up as much as possible.
And I know the first episode has been written, because I know who's written it.
Oh, nice.
And it's Rob Williams. If they're sticking with, because how scripts change for 5 minutes. So a guy called Rob Williams has written the first episode, and Rob Williams writes a ton of Dredd, and Rob Williams also wrote Suicide Squad and things like that. So like, you guys should know him from American comics too.
Yes. Yeah. They have to get Carl Urban to do it though. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have to search around later when we're done talking, so that we can focus. But like, he really is. I mean, he played the shit out of that role. I know I keep saying that Stallone did too, but first of all, Stallone is like 70 now. He's not going to do it. And secondly, he really isn't like Judge Dredd is Carl Urban is Judge Dredd. Like that was. I mean, he was really good in that role. And it was understated, but yet at the same time, it was very like he He just is like he just is Judge Dredd.
But that's Dredd. Dredd's a miserable son of a bitch who says as little as possible.
Yeah.
And and that's not what Stallone did either. Stallone talked a lot more than
yeah, they kind of I don't know, Americanized the crap out of it or something. But yeah, it's impressive to me in the new movie just how just how efficient it is. Like I said, like they don't explain anything. He's everything's like 2 words, which is realistic. This is how this man would be. Like he's getting shit done. He doesn't want to have a conversation with you. Like
and that's in a way, I think you get a lot of people kind of looking from the outside in as to Dredd and comment that Dredd can be one of their favorite heroes. Sometimes it's quite right-wing people who say that, but like a lot of the time, Dredd's never supposed to be the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's judge, jury, executioner in a essentially fascist police state. He's not supposed to be the good guy. It's everybody else that's kind of around him, the poor suffering citizens of Megacity 1, etc., etc. And he's not supposed to be the good guy. But from a movie point of view and a TV series point of view, I get that can be a bit of a tough sell in a way.
Right, they have to make us like him in some way. Right.
Yeah, well, I guess that's another reason to get big names to do the parts, right? They have to get the famous actors to do the parts so that people watch them.
then I can see from that point of view, say like the Urban movie, having Anderson. Mm-hmm. So Anderson can be the light. Anderson's always the light when the two of them are together.
I mentioned that yesterday. Like as I was watching it, we were maybe halfway through before I realized, and I was like, this movie it's called Dredd, but it's not about Dredd. It's about Anderson. Anderson's the central character, and it's really good. Like I think that might be what makes it so good. Like
and Anderson's a proper fan favorite as well. So
good, yeah.
It was always going to be a good sell, and she's great. She's really good in it as well.
Yeah. So, I guess I mean I don't know if you know. I'm formulating my thoughts here. But like, is the concept of Dredd to kind of like make fun or shit on police? Like, but like, is that like what's kind of the
not so much police, but this kind of society, you know, that kind of that. I mean, in a way that we've seen some things in recent years, and you kind of, you know, that the more prevalence of a right wing kind of element to things, and there was more of a comment on that. Because if you think about it, so when it first came out in 2000, AD first came out as a magazine, that's 1977, so we're right in the middle of punk.
Yeah,
and it was very much that kind of attitude and stuff. But as I say, you are properly turning the tables on things. You know, the stories are set around Dredd, but 99.9% of the time, Dredd's never intended on being the hero of the piece. You know, it's everybody else that kind of suffers around him and whatever. And yes, he kind of does good from time to time and whatever. But then you'll get, like, as I say, the lights. You will get the Hershey's and Andersons and characters like that.
The thing about the 95 Dredd that I think that maybe is now, it's because like what you just said, in light of what you just said, like that makes me appreciate the fact that Dredd finds himself on the wrong side of the the judgment system, and he finally sees what he's been doing to these people all these years, and that he maybe is being too much of a bastard. And I don't know if that we would want him to become a good guy, but it kind of makes it a more appreciable part of the that movie.
I get in a way. See, the way we said like about the urban thing and Anderson being kind of the light and against Dredd's part. I get in a way why they chose the kind of storyline they did for the Stallone Dredd, because it's one of the few kind of redeeming moments and times you kind of felt sorry for Dredd. So to properly explain it in the books and put some of that Stallone stuff in context, Joseph Dredd is a clone, and he's a clone of Chief Judge Fargo. And he did, and I'm talking about comics wise now, and he did have a brother called Rico, which has nothing to do with the way I sign my artwork. Actually, that's just a happy coincidence. That's kind of
going to be my next question.
Okay, I was going to ask. Yeah,
it's
made just... a point. We were talking about that yesterday as we were watching the '95 Dredd. Yeah. Lori was like, "Do you think he got his nickname from that?" And I was like,
Actually, no. Nope. We'll come back to that. So yeah, there is a kind of whole storyline that Dredd's brother Rico comes back, and he's been working in mines on Titan for years, and he's like properly disfigured and stuff like that. And there's a real redeeming story for that, and it's one of the rare moments you end up feeling sorry for Dredd and stuff. So I get why they kind of chose that as a storyline and stuff. But there's been two, I think, other consequent clones of Dredd as well. Like in the current storylines, there's a younger Dredd. That's a clone again, and he's called Judge Rico. But yeah, the guy's a miserable bastard.
It's interesting because they cloned him to be so perfect, and yet he really is not perfect at all. So far from him. P.S. Anybody who's watching, if you guys have questions about Dredd for Ian, post them in the comments. We'll read them. We'll read them out to him so that he can answer for you.
Yeah, and he'll blag his way through it if it doesn't know.
Right. Yeah, I think the people making the movies, especially the first one, just I guess didn't really know what to do, because I guess American superheroes are a very specific way. American comics are a specific way. They're kind of black and white, and this is very. It's different. It's just written differently. It's structured differently.
Yeah, it's like it's sci-fi, but yet it's more real than any of the Superman movies, of that general time frame. I guess I'm specifically thinking of the Reeves Superman movies. Like it's much more real, like how real life actually works than the Superman movies are. Have to specify which ones because there's so fucking many of them.
You can never have too many Superman movies. No, you can never have too many Superman movies. I'll qualify that. You can never have too many Superman movies as long as Dean Cain has nothing to do with it.
All right, I'll give you that one.
And yeah, and I get it. Like you look at like the '95 stuff, and maybe then we hadn't really nailed like comic book movie stuff back in '95 the way we know the majority of the stuff now anyway. I'm just trying to think what was kind of like. okay, the Batman stuff, like the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton Batman stuff, you know. But aside from that, not so much.
The first Batman and the Batman and Batman Returns are so very different.
Yeah.
like there was the first one was like first one is excellent, and then the second one, you know, they just were like, Tim Burton, do whatever you want, and they didn't think about the repercussions of that at all. So it's such a freak fest. I mean, I love it, but
I don't know. It's been such a long time since I watched them.
Well, oh man, they were on Netflix for a hot minute, so I watched them like 10 times in a row probably. But you know, for me, watching something means that I'll put it on and then do other shit. So like, I didn't really watch it 10 times.
Really, Sarah?
I played it 10 times. We'll say that.
Well,
I'm sure.
So, okay. So this is a good question, and I know there's a bunch of like drock, and there's other terms that are used in the Dredd books that were not touched upon in the movies at all. So I'm kind of curious about the language.
Oh God, so much stuff. I can't even remember stuff of it. Grud, damn it. Which is kind of like self-explanatory. And like peach trees, like every single building has a name. And they will be names you, particularly over here, you'll recognize. Like there'll be like British TV actor names and shit like that. Like it'd be the equivalent of you guys having like the be like Sammy Davis block. There would be a Donald Trump block at some point.
Right.
Okay. now I'm never gonna read the comics ever now. Nope. Trump's been in a Dredd story, not as Trump, but it was so obviously Trump.
Oh wow.
I believe it. Trump that was obviously Trump, even though they never name dropped. He's been in a lot of comics, actually. I think.
Yeah.
More than I realized the first time I've read, and yeah.
But there's a whole language and stuff. There's stuff like I'm trying to think of stuff now, like hotties. If you go out for a hottie, it's like a hot dog. And there's fatties. Fatties are like just so hugely obese people that they actually need a unicycle wheel underneath them to be able to get along.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Laurie's face. Exactly that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's crazy.
That's what we call them in real life too. Like that's what people call that. Like that's like very specific. Like very very obese. Like that's
hugely.
It's not exactly the kind of.
And you get
I don't think that a hugely obese person would exist in a universe like that, though.
And that's one of the other things. So you're kind of looking at it. So in the mega cities, everything is pretty much automatic and run by robots. So unemployment is huge. So people are doing nothing all the time.
They did mention that something when they were specifically referencing peach trees. They said something about 95% unemployment.
Because it's just robots and droids and stuff like that.
Well, that could be another thing that the 95 Dredd got right too, because they had that recycle food. And
I do like that robot.
I love that. It's like it's eat recycled food. It's good for the environment and okay for you. Oh my god, I lost my shit the first time that I heard that. I was like, what the fuck?
Going back in like proper old stories now. So I'm out the loop, and I don't know if we've seen him for such a while, but Dredd had his own robot, kind of housekeeper, called Walter. And Walter's got a speech impediment, so Walter can't pronounce his R's.
Oh wow!
So it's I'm so sorry, Judge Dredd. Dredd had an Italian housekeeper at one point.
Wow.
I want the robot with the speech impediment in the movies.
So with it having existed for this long, is it consistent or is it all over the place?
Like so many different versions and stuff.
Yeah.
Like it, I suppose like any comic character, to a certain degree, that it varies from how one person draws into the next. Like I tend to draw Dredd, big sort of muscly guy. But then there are lots of people that draw him like as a skinny ass, wiry kind of guy.
Oh, weird. Okay.
And it is what it is. And in a way, I think there is continuity to it. There is, like the last Dredd I did had references and so on, and visual cues from a previous storyline that will then go into another storyline. And
Wow.
the one I'm on at the moment has old cues. So there is continuity and stuff, but visually, it does kind of vary from one artist to the other. And the editor, do I call him by his real name or his character name? So that was the thing. So from 2000 AD, it always had, although everybody knew who the editor was, it was this character. It was this Beetlejuicean alien called Tharg, and Tharg still exists to this day, like 45 years later. So we'll have conversations with fans at cons and stuff, and they'll ask you about whatever you're drawing and whatever you're working on. And when you're talking about the editor, you'll talk about Tharg.
I like that. See, I need a character instead of me. We need.
No.
Wow, he was so like just that no.
Yeah, but everybody knows you.
You're right. I think I'm kind of screwed at this point, but
Yeah. Too late.
You've shown
your
face way too many times, and you're screwed.
Yeah, it needs somebody to kind of pop up in the chat now to post a picture of Tharg. He's green.
Oh, we should see if we can put it on the stream, Sarah, if we can find him.
Yeah, let me see. Let me see if
Just
I can find him.
THARG Tharg, and then just do 2000 AD.
Oh well, shit! That's the very first thing that came up. It's just like a picture of his head.
There you go. That's all you usually see anyway.
I got it. I got it right here. Let me just share my screen.
That's so interesting that there is a lot of art of this guy too.
Yeah. That's like proper old school Tharg, that is.
That was the very first result that came up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you got to give kudos to like Pat Mills and the guys when they were creating 2000 AD in the first place. It wasn't just let's put a bunch of stories in a comic book and throw it out there. It really was this kind of cohesive thing, and the amount of comics creative talent that people would know from perhaps American comics more than anything else is like untrue. Your Alan Moores and your Dave Gibbons and your Grant Morrisons and your Brian Bollans and stuff, they all came through 2000 AD. And there was there was a whole big thing in I'm just trying to think what year it would have been. So it would be 90s when they were starting Vertigo at DC, and Karen Berger was running things. Karen Berger took a flight over to London, set up offices in a hotel room, and just wheeled in all the 2000 AD talent. to go and work for Vertigo.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah, like you will find Dredd stories written by Grant Morrison and Garth Ennis, and like I say, Rob Williams, who does Suicide Squad and things like that as well.
That's really cool.
And like old tons of Dredd drawn by like Steve Dillon and guys like that. Steve Dillon of Preacher fame.
Huh. See, I
Nice.
didn't know that. I didn't know Ennis wrote any either. I did not know that.
Yeah.
We saw the beginning of the very opening credits, I guess, of the 95 Dredd has a bunch of Dredd covers flying by.
Mm-hmm.
And I know at some point I see that there's one point that you see some that say 2000 AD on them. Not all of them, well, and they move so fast I don't know which ones say what, but but I was looking for that as they were going through because I watched that same thing that not intentionally, but I ended up watching that opening sequence like 5 times in a row. So I started to pay attention for little stuff that I didn't catch.
I'd forgotten all about that opening sequence, actually. It's been so long since I've seen the Stallone thing.
Yeah, they actually show a bunch of the book covers.
Yeah, I don't know when did you start drawing Dredd? Because it was after Stallone, right?
Yeah. I'm going to feel old now. 2000. Well, no. 2000 was my first professional credit, and that was a strip called Sinister Dexter for 2000 AD. So my first Dredd, was probably 2002, 2003, something like that.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
I really, really shouldn't have been drawing it by then. I really wasn't good enough.
I think you're too hard on yourself, so I'm skeptical about that. But.
Yeah, I'm kind of. You're probably. Well, we're all our harshest critics. And we all think our own worst.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that it's nearly as bad as you're thinking it is right now. You should dig some of it up and show us because I need proof.
Yeah, I'd have to find. I literally have none of the original artwork left. I have maybe 2 pages left of any Dredd that I've ever drawn.
Oh wow!
So they've all sold.
That Dredd's I know Dredd is a big-ish deal in America, but I know it's like
hugely.
So yeah, that makes sense.
I have a con in 2.5 weeks, something like that. July 8th it starts in London, and I can guarantee I will see close to 24 Dredd cosplays over the 3-day weekend.
Well, yeah.
And
90. You're going to be making a line at your table because you're the Dredd guy.
Well, Dave Gibbons is there as well, so I might give him that.
All right, well, okay.
They're
going to hit your table and then they're going to hit your table.
He may have drawn 1 or 2 things over the years. Just kind of tiny little stories. But the weird thing is I'll see all those Dredd cosplays and 95% of them will have the urban Dredd costume on.
Yeah.
But the 95 one, the costuming is so bonkers. Why not? What are you Dredd cosplayers doing? Come on.
I don't think I've seen it.
Eagle on his shoulder. Come on.
I fucking hate that eagle.
Actually, I don't know if you noticed, Ian, when you were reading Super, but we have a character who's...
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, it did not... That parallel...
making fun of that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, I did notice that. And look, Homelander in The Boys.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
It's like Homelander's like a weird ass cross between Superman and Dredd.
He is. It's really.
Mhm.
I love him. Yeah. Sarah hasn't watched enough of it, so I've been harassing her.
Yeah, like we are like we discussed watching, or we discussed having like movie date nights for all of us. Like we want to have like to hang out more like non-work stuff, and yeah, that was one of the suggestions, was like we should just watch an episode of The Boys every week, because I'm way behind. I know Jeffrey stopped because he thought I didn't want to watch it, but then I said no, I want to watch that. I want to watch that.
I haven't watched any of season 3 yet,
Oh.
but I've seen all season 1 and 2. And again, it's the fantastic Carl Urban.
He's a great actor, and I have the biggest crush on him too, but that's like another thing. But like,
and he's a chameleon. That's what my favorite part about him. He's a chameleon. Like,
and it does look, if you can't have this
Scourge, and he's Dredd, like he's such
and if you can't have DeForest Kelly, he's the most perfect Dr. McCoy you'll ever find.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, Fish, are you talking about the eagle is your favorite part of the costume?
Yeah.
The big chunky eagle on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like we're not ever gonna have like a throwdown if you guys are at the same con sometime, right?
No.
Just gonna argue. It's gonna turn into like just a huge thing because so just gonna like,
I tell you what it is.
Eagle.
I'm sure we've had this conversation on another stream before. Because of the eagle and the shoulder pads, he's one of those characters that, at least for me, I can't have like a static 360 in my mind of how he works when you turn him round.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because depending on what he's doing, you have to change it. Because you look at that big ass eagle, and I don't draw the smallest shoulder pad. Some guys draw it a lot smaller, and mine's kind of sticking out here somewhere. The minute he moves his shoulders up, the guy's going to be smacking himself in the side of the head.
Yeah.
So depending on what he's kind of doing, you kind of have to take liberties and move things around a little bit.
Yeah, when I was thinking about, we had a conversation sometime earlier last week about the cosplay and how I would like to try, like I would love to have the resources to be able to build a Dredd. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily care about building a Dredd, but like to have the skill and the money to buy all the shit, because that would be an expensive cosplay. But as I was thinking about it, and I was looking at like Stallone's Dredd has the gold bars on both sides and then that big fucking eagle, and I was just thinking, like, if that's supposed to be metal because it's shiny, so we're supposed to assume it's metal, think of how much heavier the one side, and like how is he moving?
You just how walking like this.
Not only he's like always, and then like his one arm's gonna be so much, and then he's gonna have like arthritis. Like it's not practical. It's beautiful, it's really fucking cool to look at, but it's not practical at all.
Here's a continuity point to add to that then, as you just mentioned one word, and that was arthritis. Technically, Dredd's
I expected.
Yeah, technically Dredd's 83 now.
Right. Okay. And so he would not be wearing any of that because.
He's
old man bone snap, right?
There was a whole story point I'm making about it, and he's had to go through this kind of rejuvenation therapy and whatever, so he can still go out and do it.
Obviously.
But in a way, you kind of have to give props to Tharg and the guys to actually say, yeah, he's 83.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Like that's something that's very like it's glossed over, or they just ignore it.
Yeah.
Like it's never really addressed well in any comic.
That's it. Batman's always what, mid to late 30s or whatever. And, and you know, he's always that age. But no, so the thing about Dredd for the books is whatever year it is now for us, Mega City 1 continuity is always 122 years in the future.
Okay. That's awesome.
which is that's cool. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
People are thinking about it. Yeah,
like arthritis. You know, you didn't realize.
I am literally less than half of his age at 83. Like I am literally less than half that age, and I have arthritis in parts of my body that I've broken when I was, because I'm not what you would call graceful. So I've broken lots of bones and arthritis.
You stunned me, Sarah. You stunned
I know.
me.
I just look like I'd be a supermodel, right? Like I could just walk and do the shit out of that runway stuff and like an acrobatic shit too. I know. I'm not. I'm clumsy. I actually, like the first I learned of it was when I broke my collarbone. I'm not going to tell you why. Fish. When we have that thing where we talk about, like, we have an episode about the injuries and the weird shit that we did when we were kids, like that's what the story of the broken collarbone's for. But actually, maybe I won't even tell it then. It's really dumb. But anyway, my point is, at 14 years old, I was like, why does my shoulder hurt? And it hurts all the time. And like I could tell, like I literally could tell when the weather was going to change because my shoulder would hurt. And then we went and asked the doctor that, and he's like, yeah, you have arthritis. And I was like, I'm not even old enough to drive yet. What the fuck?
What do you mean?
Yeah, if you just break a bone, you can get arthritis when you're a little kid.
So I have a question about the scowl, okay? Because that's another thing I felt that Urban did properly.
Yeah.
Stallone kind of frowned, but Urban did like the. Like,
yes,
I can't do it.
I didn't. Yeah, I thought that Stallone had a good scowl until I saw the Urban scowl, and then it's like, I mean, they both do it pretty good, but like Urban does it.
So is that just like, is that permanent? Like, when you draw him? Like, how does that work?
He's just a miserable son of a bitch. I think it's really all it comes down to, and a lot of it kind of came from guys like Carlos Esquera, who kind of drew him first, and what everybody, even though everybody's got their own kind of version of it, that's where it all kind of stems from. And I think Carlos started drawing it like that because he was always supposed to be this. Okay, so Dredd actually came as a second thought from an old British comics character called Jack McBain in a British comic called Valiant. And he was essentially Dirty Harry.
Right.
And Valiant as a comic was mainly reprint stuff, and was sucking hugely and was about to die any minute. And John Wagner, who was kind of like Dredd's creator as such, came up with this character called Jack McBain, which ended up being One-Eyed Jack McBain because he had a big black eye patch, as you do. But he ended up being really successful, and he was this kind of like ultra-violence policeman in like 1970s New York and what have you. And because he became really successful, and then Valiant kind of died as such as a comic when they started 2000 AD, Pat Mills, who was kind of editor at the time, said, I want a Jack McBain, but I want him to kind of look like the Keith Carradine character in Death Race 2000. And that was kind of where it started. He was just supposed to. It's Dirty Harry is a miserable, bad mood, violent son of a bitch.
Right.
And because Carlos kind of drew him from the get-go as, miserable, kind of scowling all the time.
It's so great.
It kind of came from that.
In the comics, do we see any other, like, because the movies, it's just showing him doing his job, and then like with Stallone, we see the consequences of him getting in trouble for something that he didn't do at his job. So do we see, what else do you see besides just that as far as Dredd's life, like the reason that he's miserable, that makes that scowl?
Not
We see-
really.
Okay.
Mhm.
So like, which
I mean,
makes it
there
then
are
you don't
kind of
miss
there are
each
little bits. Yeah, there are little bits and pieces of stuff. Like there's a book called Origins. Guess what that's about? So that kind of takes it as Dredd as a cadet, which is Dredd and Rico as a cadet at the same time.
Mhm.
Growing up and without them knowing, Chief Judge Fargo being somewhat of a father figure and what have you. And
Mhm.
I won't spoil it for anybody who wants to go and read it, but that's if you've never read any Dredd stuff before, that's one of the good points to start with, I think.
They do kind of
Origins.
they give a little bit of that in the 95
Yeah.
Dredd.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's a thing that they must have gotten from the comics that they did
Absolutely.
correctly, like the relationship between Rico and and I actually had to look up something, and I found out that Rico's referred to in the Wikipedia page as Rico Dredd. So
Yeah.
And I'm wondering where the hell did they why did they clone some babies and they decided to name them Dredd? I don't know if there's a reason for it, but like there is. We were talking about remember the Janus Project? We were laughing because Janus sounds like anus.
Because we're 4 years old.
Yeah, we're children.
Yeah.
In the first movie, they just say it like 80 times in a row, and they just keep saying it.
But that's like Hollywood, isn't it? Like, even if somebody's happened to mention at some point, they go, excuse me, like a third assistant director at some point has just gone, don't you think Janus sounds a little bit like, maybe just a little, like, they'll just, if we say more and more often and keep pushing through.
Right.
Keep pushing through. Interesting choice of words.
Right.
Because
you noticed that, Sarah, not I.
Because I'm a child.
Right. That's just.
I think we have established.
Not really bow on live stream here, yes, you know.
Yeah.
Normally I'm a curtsier because that's funnier to me, but anywho's, I did look up what the fuck is Janus, and because after Lori's the one. For the record, everybody, Lori is the one who pointed out that Janus sounds like anus, and that's why it's getting to her. So just so clear, I didn't get the connection between Janus and anus. Lori did. I just laughed at it because it's true. But
I want to know if that's actually what you typed into Google. What the fuck is Janus? I
might have.
Okay, cool.
It's possible. That sounds like something I would do, but it did happen yesterday, so I can't be sure. I did look it up though, and Janus, they called it the Janus Project because they assigned the sciencey shit to Janus Technology or Janus Laboratories or whatever the fuck the company. And then I was like, well, what the hell does Janus mean? Like, why is it Janus? And so I looked that up, and it turns out
like a Roman god or something like that.
It's a Roman god of beginnings, gates, transitions, time, duality, doorways, passages, frames, and endings. That is straight from Wikipedia. So like, I get
just called it Aries. They could have called it anything else. Why did they call it
like Prometheus?
Yeah, they didn't. They could have called it Project X. It didn't matter. It didn't matter
Project
because
X.
it didn't matter.
I love how animated Laurie's getting about this.
I just couldn't stop focusing on it. It was distracting.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but yeah, like I get why they use, like, when you look up, if you are a huge neurodivergent nerd like me and you take the time to dig in and figure it out, then yeah, it does make sense. But like, you didn't make those connections at fucking all in the movie. It didn't matter what the damn name of the laboratory was. It didn't matter. It didn't fucking matter. So why did we make Janus? Because it sounds like anus. But yeah, it just didn't matter. It really didn't matter.
This is an important thing to remember, I guess, when we name things for our books, just like pay attention to weird rhymes.
Yeah.
but
because
then you see some weird shit that happens in real life about things that they name, and that things that like graphic designs that make it all the way to the billboard phase, and then you're going, this was in front of dozens of sets of eyes, and nobody noticed that it looks like a penis. So
right.
So I can believe that we still might screw that up. Also, J-Man, I did see that you came in, and hi, and I'm sorry, but I was distracted.
Hi, J-Man. we were going off track a little about anus.
I think we've stayed remarkably on track.
It's been okay.
I mean, at least like there's a reason that we said the word anus on stream. There is a good, and it's related to Judge Dredd, weirdly enough.
All I'd like to point out is I hadn't thought about this for like 10 years now.
I got
now it's not gonna go away.
Right.
But I have a very serious question for you. Do you feel like you're going to have to go watch the 95 Dredd again now?
Weirdly, yes.
Oh, we'll have to do a special watch party, and we can watch it again and point out all the weird shit that we were pointing out yesterday.
Yeah, there were because like I agree with you for the most part, Ian, about Rob Schneider. Like I don't know why. Like when he came up on the screen, I was like, why the fuck is Rob Schneider in this movie?
Absolutely. Why is Rob Schneider?
However, there is a single scene with Rob Schneider that I had to that I died because they're on the plane together and Rob Schneider's looking at him and then he goes like this and he covers and I'm like, this is the dumbest scene. Like it's but
then it kind of makes sense because of the whole never removing the helmet thing.
Right. I love it. I love that scene.
And you see how I knew exactly what you were gonna say.
Like the whole rest of the time he's in the movie, like no, I don't care. It doesn't matter. But that scene, it's just like I needed to take a minute. It's just
it fogged up my glasses a little.
And Stallone is just 100%, just like no reaction at all. Just
he does not. Yeah, that was neither. Like Judge Dredd does not smile ever. No. Oh, J-Man brought up an interesting point. Why is Rob Schneider in any movie that he is in? That is a pretty good point.
What? Even Juice Bigelow, Male Gigolo?
What?
I'm sure Adam Sandler could have done that just as well.
Oh, wow. That's the bar.
I don't. Well, I mean, it's Juice Bigelow. Yeah, that is the bar. All right.
And like, I'm pretty sure Rob Schneider's crazy now too. Like he's come out as being absolutely batshit. Yeah. So like my respect for him, like the little respect I had is gone anyway. So
he never did any. I guess he's a good actor. I guess like the movies that he's in, it's stupid and you laugh.
Right.
But it was he's never done any like good movies. Like he's never done a movie that you're like, fuck, I want to watch that again, right? He's never done, and he's always the supporting character in the movies that you do want to watch again that he's in. He's always a supporting character.
I mean, in a way, I kind of get it. In the '95 movie, he was a foil for Stallone, and that was it.
Right.
For essentially what was always going to be a serious, miserable ass character.
Yeah, it's just I guess it's kind of a contrast from Anderson. Like Anderson, they did it right with Anderson versus Rob Schneider. Like I don't know what that.
I have not heard about how Rob Schneider treats his fans, but J-Man said that he's heard that he's a jerk. So
I just know
I'm gonna go with that because like I don't like the shit that he says that he get like he's fine with people writing that down and publishing it. The things that he says are like batshit crazy. Shit. Like seriously, he was one of the 5G, like Corona, the COVID vaccine, the 5G. He was one of them. Oh.
Yeah, just no.
I just FYI, like I started tearing up because I was laughing too hard and I wasn't breathing, and now and then I smeared the hell out of my glasses now. So I can't put them back on and see. So,
It's fine.
But we amused you, so that's
Right.
what matters.
I'm okay
The
with that. No,
important
I saw Lori start to shit herself on the camera. Like we were doing like a legit watch party, and so she starts just fucking losing it, and I was like, yes, like that's what I did the first time I saw that scene too. Yes, because it's fucking ridiculous. Oh, and he makes the cheesy ass one liner that he makes when he disables the robot, the ABC robot, which I can't remember what ABC means. I just remember that it's
oh God, don't ask me now. All I can remember is it's Hammerstein, because there's a whole there must be about like 6 or 7 separate actual ABC robots in the books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it actually has. I just googled it. It actually has. There's a whole fucking. Oh my god! There's a whole Wikipedia article about it, but it looks like maybe in the originally it was ABC stood for atomic, bacterial, and chemical.
There you go. Yeah.
Which I don't ever looked up before because that does not sound familiar at all. Weird.
No, there's a whole like proper like core, if you like an army core of robots, and like Hammerstein. I totally forgot about Hammerstein. Hammerstein's quite good in the 95.
Yeah.
Totally removed from whatever he was in the books or anything like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, like the 95 Dredd it's such a 90s movie too. Like it's not even just that it's a Stallone movie, it's not a Dredd movie, but it is very much a 90s movie too. So like in smack dab in the middle of the decade, like it's the 90th movie that was made in the 90s. It's a very 90s movie. And
see, all I can keep hearing going through my head is like, I am the law.
Yeah, the act. It's yes, so bad.
When he screams it, like I told Lori, I was like, okay, this is my favorite part. Wait for it. And yeah, when he's in the courtroom and they sentence him, they say he's guilty, and he goes, I didn't break the law, I am the law. And I was like, that right there, that was my favorite part, because how fucking ridiculous was that?
And like Urban says it too, but he says it in just like
he's very understated. Yeah,
very understated.
And it made a lot more sense when he said it. The response, he was responding to one of the bad guys saying something, and he responds with "I am the law," and it makes a lot more sense. The context there, and the understated way he says it. Yeah, it's just he does. He's better. He's just like he's better. And I think, like, well, in Stallone in general, especially in the 90s movies, all of his 90s movies, not just Dredd, he is, like, so serious to the point where it almost becomes campy. Like, some points it does become campy. And if it was not based on a comic, I would say this is camp.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I know that it's based on a comic.
And then we're just back to the uniforms.
Yes.
You know, that's...
Oh,
but then over here, they did a newsstand magazine comic called Judge Dredd, Lawman of the Future, which is based on the Stallone Dredd.
Oh.
Because I sent some samples in for it and didn't get anything. Big mistake.
Yeah. What the hell?
I'm kind of glad I didn't now.
It'd be weird. It'd be a different style, I guess, right? Like, how would you even...
Here's another little aside for one of your questions then. So if you were asking about if he has sort of, if there's anything else that goes on with him not just being a judge and whatever. So in the books, Rico has a daughter. So Dredd actually has a niece that he pretty much goes out of his way and does anything for.
Okay.
So he does kind of have some family as such.
He has some
That's
motivation
cool. He
to
doesn't
do.
have just digitally altered photographs with fake parents and stuff.
Yeah.
That he doesn't remember anyway. Like, why did he even have that picture if they were going to make it so that he didn't remember his family anyway? Like, what the fuck? Jeffrey Frizone. I'm sorry. If I messed up your name, I'm sorry. I saw the 95 movie in theaters with my grandfather. He slept through most of it, but he was intrigued by the cloning stuff because they were talking about the sheep in the news around this time. They were, weren't they? The Dolly the sheep.
Dolly
right?
the sheep.
And that sheep then like got some kind of horrible, weird disease and died like a couple years later, didn't she?
Okay.
It was like the weirdest random disease. And then
keep it light, Sarah.
J-Man, Sly was in a slump when he did Dredd. He said, "Dredd, stop or my mom will shoot." But Demolition Man too. And also, I did tell Lori she has to watch Stop or My Mom Will Shoot because it's fucking insane. It's so dumb. But Estelle Getty's in it. Come on, a Golden Boy's in it. So you gotta watch it because like it's not Sly that you're watching that movie for. It's Estelle Getty that you're watching that movie for. She's excellent in that show, in that movie, but the movie sucks. Like just
with the big ass gun.
Yes. Like I made it very. I think that I made it very clear that the movie is trash, but also you have to watch it. You do. Because
it's one of those kind of so bad it's good kind of things.
Yes, exactly. Like it's just like, and you, especially coming back now with the resurgence and popularity of the Golden Girls. Like you learned, you appreciate all over again how amazing Estelle Getty was, and she was a national treasure, and we lost her far too soon. So, just like Dolly the sheep.
That's terrible.
Exactly like Dolly the sheep.
Sorry, I couldn't help. I had to.
So, just to clear things up for people.
Not my last name. I'm pretty sure I don't say.
Sorry, quick, change the subject.
So, what are you working on now, Ian?
A ton of questions that we wanted to ask you and wrote none of them down. But yes, that was a question I wanted to hear about.
Before we get to the interesting stuff, on a related note, here's an explanation for people. Right, so the Rico signature actually has nothing to do with Dredd. It's just a happy accident. So when I was regularly playing in bands, a good buddy of mine, Michael Cass, who's our singer, there's two Ian Richardsons in Birmingham that both played guitar.
Oh wow, okay.
And we would get each other's messages. Like he would get messages asking about artwork, and he worked in a big music store in Birmingham, and I would get messages asking if he could come in this week and try the latest Explorer or what have you. So Mike, in his phone, so he didn't get confused, he had this other guy listed as Ian Richardson, and then would also just list me as Rico, which came out of the derivation of Richardson.
Right.
And so then, apart from it just being in his phone, he started calling me Rico all the time. So then everybody starts calling me Rico. So yeah, it's funny how nicknames work.
It is weird. Though. It is very interesting that you got that nickname, and then suddenly, like you just happened to become. That is funny though.
And then there's just me going, look, I can't sign every piece of artwork I do. Ian Richardson. There'd be no space for any artwork on the page for crying out loud. So, I know, I'll just sign it Rico.
Did we tell Ian about the bitching about your name that we did when we were designing your cover? Like Lori and I were working on your cover. We're like, why is his first name so short and his last name so long? I can't make this balance. Oh my god! But it ended up working out. So
yeah, you try.
Genius. Just
you try. Well, that's a given.
Thank you.
You try signing your name like that at 3-day con all weekend.
I'm gonna pass. Yeah.
You
Yeah,
just like
I
you
would.
just are.
Yep,
Just
so,
are.
yeah.
You just give up.
Yeah. No,
You see,
it tends to be. It
it
tends.
makes
Well, you've seen the scribble, right? So on the art books that I sent back to you that were all signed,
Yeah.
if you didn't know what my name was, then you kind of go, what's that? So after a while, it does tend.
actors and authors, like, they have to sign their names a million times, and then it ends up when you get famous enough that they give you your own IMDb page and stuff, like, and they put that little link to your signature. It's just like just a little squiggly in the front and then a line. That's all it ever is.
It's a thing. You get there's a big 2000 AD thing, so you get lots of collected editions of 2000 AD work. So when you do cons, you'll get fans bring round the collected editions that they get every single 2000 AD creator to sign.
Oh shit!
So you're looking at these things and you go, "Who the hell signature's that?" You can't recognise half the things. And there's a Facebook group for like con commissions and things like that, and you will guarantee at least 3 or 4 times a week there'll be a post from somebody going, "Does anybody know whose signature this is?"
You're right.
That's fantastic. I love that. There's a Facebook group, and they should just have a Facebook group for like identifying comic signatures.
Yeah. A Facebook group within a Facebook group.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
So I am working on at the moment Hush Hush Things for Unlikely Heroes, which will be finished tomorrow, by the way.
Yay! Well, I guess everyone can. I mean, you could show it if you have it in front of you.
I can't, because unlike usually, I'm in the kitchen.
Okay.
I'm not actually in the studio for a change, because it's stupid o'clock in the morning and everybody's in bed.
That's sorry.
No, I don't mind.
I did offer to. I did suggest we could pre-record it so that it would be still play at the right time for us and be a sane hour for you.
I'm a freelance artist. I don't sleep proper hours anyway.
Yeah.
So there's Unlikely Heroes stuff, and there will be more Unlikely Hero stuff in the future. I'm in the middle of it's either 12 or 13 page, I should really know, a vampire western thing for a European anthology that the wonderful Eric is actually lettering for us as well, and people will know from Unthinkable Stuff. Simon Goff is colouring that for us and doing a very nice job too. Without Eric feeling any pressure, we should probably let him know that might end up being the lead story in the book.
Ooh.
And strangely enough, save the most appropriate for last, I'm just starting 60 pages of Dredd.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll keep me going for a while. And so given what I mentioned earlier about kind of where Dredd came from and a character called One-Eyed Jack McBain, this is the script for the 60 pages of Dredd, and it's called...
Ooh.
Nice.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Nice.
I'll probably get in trouble for showing that, but what the hell.
Well, you let us know, and I will go in and edit the video so that nobody can see it.
We can black it out so nobody can
No, it's fine. You've seen the pictures. Varg looks like a really kind of nice guy. not
You guys,
not judgmental at all. So
He doesn't kill people who cross him. He doesn't look like that
yeah,
type.
he let
Right?
somebody else do that for him.
what? He did what? Do you know something you haven't told me?
Lori is the only editor that kills people who cross her. Okay.
Right. Okay.
Cool.
Yes.
No, I will give all credit due to Tharg. Since starting work for 2000 AD 22 years ago, I have never had one single correction.
Wow.
I should have. I really, really should have. But no, he's a really kind of chilled and laid back editor and kind of just lets you get on with shit.
Well, I feel like when you're releasing material that often too, like you can't sit there and nitpick like a 16th of a panel in the corner every day. Like,
so if you think about it on a weekly basis, he's corralling a writer, artist, colorist, and letterer on 4 or 5 different stories every week, plus a monthly magazine with another 3 or 4 stories in. They're longer; they're like 10-page stories. That'll keep you busy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's awesome.
And fair due to him, he's been. I'll properly credit him, Matt Smith. So Matt Smith's been Tharg for like 20 years now. And I think that's officially the longest running comics editor anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, well, just based on your very fast description of the job there, that's an extremely stressful job. So to do it for 20-something years is wow.
Well, yeah, and so he was when I got my first gig. Matt was the assistant editor, and the editor at the time was Andy Diggle of Losers fame, The Losers.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm trying to make any correlation between the two, but my first gig at 2000 AD was under Andy Diggle, and then he left within about 2 months. Nah, nothing to do with me.
No, there's no way. You're fun to work with.
No.
Oh, do we have any other? Does anybody that's watching have any other questions for Ian? Because we can't make him stay here all night, so we're gonna he's gonna try to escape eventually.
Strangely enough, I might have the majority of tomorrow off.
Well, that's good.
I don't know why.
I don't know why either.
It's because it's Tuesday. You know, and if you can't have a Tuesday off every now and then,
I think you deserve it.
maybe.
Hello.
Don't tell too many people that, including the people who are waiting for pages. They might disagree.
Are the 60 pages that you're working on, are they going to be released like in chunks, or is it one massive thing?
No, so they're for the monthly magazine. So they're 10-page stories at a time. So that's like 6 months worth.
Okay. Nice.
So basically, if people want to buy my shit, they've got to buy the book for 6 months.
What? That's awesome.
Hey, it's going to keep my Instagram going for a while. That's for sure.
That is not an easy task, as I'm sure, well, all artists are aware of. Fucking trying to come up with shit to post every. I think that it's probably been 1.5 years since I posted to my own Instagram. Actually, I'm horrible. See, I didn't have enough stuff. At least you're churning out crap that you can put up there. I churn out nothing.
I'm trying to get better at it.
We all need assistance. Lori needs at least 2 assistants, and then we can make the assistants do that stuff, because everybody who's watching who's an artist, it sucks, right? It sucks having to post to your freaking social media all the damn time. It sucks. It's so hard to do.
When I kind of start on this journey, I hate that word, and we figure I want to be a professional artist. I want to be a professional creator. All you figure is you're going to sit there and draw all day. You don't think you're going to have to sell yourself, do your own accounts, handle your own social media, do your own laundry, for crying out loud. Yeah. But it's better than having a real job.
Are you okay, Sarah?
There's a bee in my house.
How did it get in? Did you just hit it?
I don't know. Oh, why do I have this many cats if they're not going to do their damn job and kill that? God, I hope I'm wrong and it's just a fly.
It looks pretty big. It flew past.
Oh my God, you saw it? You see it? Ugh.
For just a second, it flew, yeah.
It wasn't buzzing. I didn't hear any buzzing, so I have a little hope that it's not something that stinks. Yeah, y'all don't want to see my face swell up real time, I'm sure.
Oh, no, that's fine. So when I was traveling to a con, where was I? Northern Ireland. We were in the airport. Just got off the plane, waiting for somebody else to come through baggage collection, and we were just kind of sitting there, and I waited, and I put my hands in my pocket, and a wasp was in my pocket.
Ooh.
And it stung me right on the knuckle.
Oh no!
Ow! Ow! Ow!
I hate wasps.
Wasps are garbage bugs. They don't even make honey.
They don't do anything useful. They're horrible.
They're just bastards.
And then I was kind of like, oh, I'm at a con. I've got to draw all weekend.
Yeah.
Oh,
so it was all such, yeah.
Oh. God, that sucks.
Fortunately enough, it was kind of like third finger and what have you. So there's tons of ice and
so you're
all that nonsense.
Drawing like this with your finger up.
Yeah. No, are you not aware I draw like that anyway?
It's very fancy.
I literally
British draw.
That's it's called the British. No, I get the piss ripped out of me for playing guitar like that. Like on my fretting hand, unless I'm using it, my little finger is always sticking out.
Oh,
so, yeah. So people, yeah.
To be fair, I absolutely suck at guitar, but I think I might do that too. Because my fingers are little short little sausage fingers, and I'm always stretching them, so it's just naturally stretched up really far.
It's little finger. Little finger has a mind of its own. Never does what it's supposed to.
Right.
You know how the biggest way to mock the pinky up thing is when you're drinking and you pinky up, and I do it all the time, and I never noticed that I did it until somebody pointed out that I was being fancy, and I was like, what? I'm pretty sure that I'm a shirt that has stains on it, but you think I'm fancy? Okay.
No, because clearly that's what I do all the time. You know, I'm British, so I drink tea from a china cup
with a saucer, right? Like you got the sauce in your hand, and it's got the little. What the fuck is that? Little cookies? What are they called? I don't remember what the British biscuits, digestives. I never did. Nobody ever told. I was in England for 16 days, and not a single one of you bastards told me what is the difference between a biscuit and a digestive. What's the difference?
There isn't any. A digestive is a biscuit.
It is a biscuit,
Yes, that's the only thing I could come up with, was that you guys are just fucking with me, and that everybody was in on it. Every single British person I talked to was in on it. And also,
Yeah.
I didn't know you had wasps over there. I thought the only pests that you had were swans. So the only thing that attacked me while I was over there was a fucking swan. So
Yeah, because clearly that's what we did. We all went, look, Sarah's coming.
Right.
Everybody knows what they have to do.
that's what I'm saying. You guys know
We're gonna confuse her about the biscuits.
Yeah.
She's coming.
Yeah.
Oh shit, she's coming and she's alone. Her British friend isn't with her. Now let's really fuck with her.
Yeah. Everybody's literally going, now we can really fuck with her.
Yeah. There was genuinely two people that I remember it really clearly, and I remember my reaction, and I'm horrified by it even this many years later. That there were two people whose accents were so thick I could not understand what they were saying, despite they were speaking English and they were British. They were very obviously not from another country speaking it as a second language. I still didn't know what they were saying, and I asked them what 3 times, and then I just started giggling hysterically because I was like, I am so uncomfortable and I don't know what to do. Somebody please help me. So I just started giggling.
So I'm surprised you didn't get into the whole conversation about biscuits and scones or scones. You know, it's just like a breakfast biscuit.
Yeah, I feel like I know the difference there, though. Like that one's more obvious.
Yeah, it's just the fact that what we call a biscuit and what you call a biscuit.
Mm-hmm. And scones. Scones here are a completely different thing.
Yeah, and I can't remember what it was called. What it was called when I bought it over there, but here, like they're it's like the McDonald's little hand pies, and I just called them all pies, or what was it? Who was it? Said it was a giant tortellini or something. Like I was like, no, it's definitely not a giant tortellini. I do know that. But it was a British thing, and it had like it was a French name, and it had chocolate and stuff in it. I don't remember.
Like a croissant.
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I'm sure I would have said it wrong. That one.
Chocolat.
Yeah, pain au chocolat. That would make more sense. Okay.
And I did say the word croissant over there, and I got fucking eviscerated for it. I also got eviscerated for saying zebra, because how dare I say it with a long E?
That's incorrect. Yeah.
And I also got eviscerated for saying the word buoy, because it's a fucking boy. That was all I heard from Ben for like 4 days. It's a fucking boy. It's not a buoy, it's a boy. I was like, I will fucking throw your face into that boy and watch you drown.
Because a boy is a small male child.
Right.
Thank you.
Look, all you need to know about British culture is actually pointed out to me by Laurie that I didn't realise, and I spent all the years that I have on this planet Earth without realising jelly babies that people eat actually have child's names on the back.
Oh.
So you're getting candy, you're eating children, but we're going to name them for you.
We named the children.
I noticed that too. It was the box of shit that Katie sent us, right?
Yeah.
And we were both like that, because obviously we didn't grow up with that stuff. So like I inspected the hell out of that box, and I was like, what, they named the candy? Now,
but they're children. They're not like, it's not like bears. They're babies.
It's
something
that's the thing. It's even worse. It's not even children. It's babies.
Yes. That's
so we're going to give the babies that you eat names.
So weird.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that?
It's so
and
bizarre.
That's the thing, right? I'd never even noticed that.
No.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You should be ashamed of yourself.
I am, and it's not my fault either. I'm still ashamed of myself.
Katie,
I think your brain just shut it out.
Yeah.
Your brain shut it out because it's just too
must be. That
weird.
is a horrifying fact, yes. And And like I said, I mentioned it to Katie. I talked about it to Katie, and she didn't notice either. So I think that at least you're not alone. I think most British people never read the back of the box.
I figure it's more down to the fact that I'm not shutting anything out or ignoring anything. It's just it's candy, and
Right. Right.
I need to consume it. I don't care about the wrapping.
Right.
Just get it inside me.
Right. And I was sitting there like inspecting the wrapping because it's different. Like the way you guys market stuff is different, and it was interesting. And like the kilocalories versus calories and all kinds of stuff. I was looking at all the little stuff.
I did all of that too, and
fucking names.
Yeah, complete. Like I did that too, and we both realized that, and it was completely independent of one another. Nobody pointed it out to the other. We both just realized it on our own, and it's like,
yeah, it's not the flavors; it's the names of the babies.
Yeah, the fact that the babies have names
that you're consuming. The small children you're eating.
It doesn't even say what flavors each baby is either. No. Like the baby's names, it's just the names, and then and you don't get to know what flavor each named baby is. So it's just
I want to know. I want to know who came up with it. Like I want to know how this came to be. It's so weird.
For a moment, I forgot about the fucking bee, and then it came back.
Well, yeah, it's sort of eating babies does kind of,
bees
take your mind off things.
Bees love it when you talk about eating babies. That's why he's here.
Eating babies takes your mind off things. We need to quote that out of context.
Yeah, I'm writing that down now for a future project.
Yes.
I hope
that needs to be used. Yeah. Credit where credit's due.
I mean, like I want a cut. I don't want just like that Sarah White said that eating babies takes your mind off things. There needs to be payment if that's happening.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe we'll have to discuss that. I mean, you're working under the assumption that there'll be any money in this.
Well, I mean, I do this stuff too. I know. At least I'll be famous. I don't think that's what I want to be famous.
Okay, we should let Ian sleep.
Oh, Ian won't be sleeping for another hour. Yeah, Ian's like wide awake now.
Ian's ready to eat some babies. Let's go.
Possibly. Ian actually has no candy in the house whatsoever at the moment.
Oh no!
I know.
That's when I crack open the freezer and I start looking for those half empty bags of chocolate chips. I'm not too proud to tell everybody that if I need sugar and there's nothing but chocolate chips in the freezer, I will do it. I will do that. Sometimes you just
I mean, I will admit tomorrow or when I get up later today, that will probably change.
Okay.
It's highly likely, but as of 2:45 in the morning, no candy, no chocolate, nothing.
We need to send you more Twinkies.
Yeah, why do you like those? That is so weird to me.
It's the same analogy as Stopple My Mum Will Shoot. It's so bad it's good.
Okay.
And I am a sucker for horrendously sweet things. A bit like myself.
Even sweet though? Are they? It's been
kind of.
Like 15 years since I've eaten a Twinkie, so I don't even remember what Twinkies taste like. Except that I know that they don't taste good, and that's why I don't buy them.
There's a weird thing I don't know if you've ever seen. I think it's Lad Bible. do a thing where they get like a couple of celebrities, usually one Brit, one American, and they will put British and American snacks in front of them, and they've each got to try one. You can guarantee every single time there'll be a pack of Twinkies there.
Yeah.
And I'm always upset when nobody likes them. It's just me. But I need to. I last time I saw one, I think they did one with they did like a Tom Holland and Zendaya one, and I need to make a note of all the British snacks that they feed them, so I can send them to you guys, like Frazzles. You'll have never experienced Frazzles.
I've never heard of Frazzles. No.
And everybody likes Monster Munch for some reason.
I have heard of Monster Munch. I've heard of it through Carl Pilkington.
Oh,
That's where I heard about Monster Munch. But I've never tried it.
I've never heard of it, so yeah. But can we at least can we tempt you to a Little Debbie's, like a Swiss cake roll, or like a zebra cake? Zebra cakes are better. Like they're Twinkie. It's the same cake as Twinkie.
I've done all this stuff. I've spent so much time in the States up until the last 5 years.
Twinkies? It's just Twinkies.
Yeah. No, it's not just Twinkies. I'll eat anything.
Including babies.
I think the criteria is if it's at least relatively healthy and good for you, I'm not interested.
That's how I do my grocery list. So
yeah,
okay. I understand completely.
You know, I will make concessions. I will have lettuce on a burger. You know, but
for texture.
There you go. Yeah. But you know, lines have to be drawn. Like, I'm not going to go to Five Guys and have lettuce on my burger for a start. Let me just put that out there. That's just
what kind of monster goes to Five Guys and then gets lettuce on their burger?
I know, that's just inhuman.
Fried onions. I'll do the fried onions, but
yeah, has to be fried onions.
Yeah, no, the raw ones. No, don't.
No. I'll go somewhere else.
Five Guys in town now, so I've gotten my burger order down to a science.
Yeah.
Nice.
Grilled onion, grilled mushroom, and mustard.
Okay, I'm with you on it. Everything except the mustard, and it's only because I am allergic to mustard. I learned this. I was like, I think mustard tastes good, but like, why does it always make the top of my mouth all scratchy? And don't you hate that? And then, yeah, like somebody else was like, no, I don't even know what you're talking about. Maybe you should stop eating mustard.
I think maybe this is a you problem. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I'm used to the watery eyes, runny nose, perhaps swelling swelling eyelids. I've had that. That's pretty horrifying. But I've never had the roof of my mouth. It feels scratchy. Like I've never. I didn't know that was a allergy symptom I was supposed to be paying attention to.
Yeah.
And now I do.
I'll get it occasionally, and only usually on one thing. Like cherries. If I buy pre-packed cherries and don't wash them thoroughly when I get home, whether it's like a pesticide remnant or something on there, back of the throat, roof of the mouth, scratchy.
Well, I feel like I think everybody should have that kind of reaction to eat this. So that's not something.
Yeah, it could be that.
But maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Clearly, cherries, fruit, good for you. That's the problem.
Yeah. You need more junk food.
But there is
the only solution.
There is a lot of sugar in cherries, though. So it's that the really sweet fruits, they walk that line, don't they?
I know.
Walk the line between candy and healthy. It's very.
I tell a lie. I am a huge kind of fruit animal. So, but usually the really sugary, sweet ones. Pineapple, strawberries, cherries, mango. Yeah,
I love mango.
Yes, I love mangoes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm pretty excited. Like right now, for the berry season is starting to happen. So like the blueberries and the raspberries. Well, not right now, not because this year is so weird, but usually this time of year it starts to get very cheap. The cherries, the blueberries, the raspberries, they aren't cheap now because the world is a horrible place. But
Yeah, the world is in the trash.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys must be suffering like gas prices like we are.
Yeah, I know that officially the gas price is still way higher because of I don't know why your gas prices are so much worse, but yeah, they're still ridiculous here too.
The taxes go towards healthcare and school and
y'all
stuff, right?
Yeah,
there's a huge amount of kind of tax on our petrol prices, but a lot of
good public infrastructure too. We have garbage we don't have trains and shit. I love the train. I want to ride the train. Why don't we have any trains?
Yeah, don't do trains at the moment. They're kind of going on strike as of tomorrow.
Well, I wasn't planning on a trip to England. My passport.
You know, not like next 24 hours or anything. You know, just gonna hop on a plane. No.
There's at least 3 people I can think of who would be very angry with me if I just went to England and didn't tell them.
Look, you're kind of revealing live right now. Yeah.
Lori would probably be very pissed off at me if I just went and didn't tell her. But yeah, no. That
face says yeah, she would be. She's literally shaking her head, but
I don't know why you're not telling me.
Yeah.
See, and the thing of it is I was doing something like that, I would be like 100% completely incapable of not telling Lori. That would be the only thing that we would talk about for weeks beforehand. And I would absolutely be like, is there any way that you can come with me because we need to go together? We need to do this and fuck some shit up in England together. Maybe if we're really lucky, we can get thrown in jail in England because that would be a story to tell.
I have to confess, it's not something I hear a tremendous amount of. You know, people thinking, I want to go to the UK. Oh, maybe I could go visit like the London landmarks and go see London Bridge. Or maybe even travel a little farther out and go see Stonehenge or head up to Scotland. No. Sarah wants to head over to fuck some shit up.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
you need to tell them that like when
I got attacked by a swan the last time I was there. I got attacked by a goddamn swan. I owe you people. And you know what? There was over a dozen people in that park and nobody helped me. I had to throw a sandwich at the swan to make it go away.
Yeah. Do you know why nobody helped you? Because they know what swans are like.
They're terrified.
They're vicious.
I actually, like, after the fact, I asked people, I was like, I know that it's illegal to kill the swans in England because the Queen would be very upset because she loves her swans. However, is it illegal to punch a swan? Because I felt like there was a point at which I needed to do that in this one particular situation, and I didn't. But because like they're big, and I was tired. Like I was super jet lagged. It was the very first day that I was there, and I had this fucking giant 100-pound bird comes at me, and I'm like, what do I do? And then my friend fucking gets behind me, an adult man, by the way, hides behind me. Oh, trauma. So much like England was a traumatizing place.
But I'm still, you know, going back to, I've got visions of like Sarah at customs and the customs official going through and checking through your passport and going, yes, reason for your visit? I'm here to fuck some shit up.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, pardon, and then I'll be just like, vacation. Excuse me? vacation.
You have to say it now. We have to know.
All right. Note to self: do not ask Ian to pick me up at the airport because he is going to tell on me, and I'm going to get thrown back on the plane.
As if I would do such a thing.
Oh shit!
They might just roll their eyes at you and be like, "Oh, Americans, yeah, we're used to this."
That's
Like,
true.
I don't know.
Just assume now, like just automatically like, oh, fucking Americans.
Yeah, the passport stamp. Get out of here.
Oh yeah, and
No,
when I went there, that was my very first passport stamp, and that was like he was like, you've never been anywhere before, and I was like, dude, I've never even left the state of Wisconsin before today, and he's like, okay, well this is a thing, and like I'm gonna stamp your passport, but I'm gonna make this mark here that says that I'm stamping it. There's a special reason that your passport is different or whatever he said. It was a long time ago. I don't remember that. But like I thought there was gonna be like a big red official stamp or something. And no, he just like on there with a regular old ballpoint pen, just like did a little scribble. I was like, that doesn't mean anything to anybody. That just looks like somebody smudged their pen on my passport page. What is that?
That's
very disappointing.
See, I got pissed off at that they don't stamp passports anymore.
They don't?
Like, where's my little souvenir from all the places I've been?
Right.
My like 27 dozen stamps that just say San Diego.
Right.
Lame. Very lame. I didn't know that. I haven't been out of the country in a long time, so.
Yeah.
I guess technically I flew over Canada a little while ago. But like that doesn't count.
Well, December 2019 in Malta was the last time I was out of the country.
Oh,
and that was work. I know. It's just the randomest thing. Like a bunch of us with the family went to see the new Jurassic Park. Or Jurassic World, sorry. And there's a big chunk of it filmed in Malta. Oh. And I'm the annoying guy in a whole full cinema theatre going, I know there, I've been there, I recognise that place. Yeah.
No, I'd be the same way. That's so exciting. You're like, I was there weren't any dinosaurs, but you know.
No, I don't care.
Yeah, it's beautiful there.
It's fine. They had comics, so it was all good.
That's what really matters.
Yeah, so we need to do something really, really mega super successful so we can get you guys to come over and do like a big con over here, like the one I'm doing in a couple of weeks' time.
Yes,
that would be really fun. Except that now that I've publicly live streamed and recorded that I'm going to go there to fuck shit up. Maybe I won't be getting in. So
yeah, some unscrupulous and vindictive types might take this as some kind of public record and you know, drop it off to the authorities. Could become a whole thing.
Well, we'll have to risk it.
Yeah, I can't possibly imagine who would do anything like that to you, Sarah.
Katie, I know it.
Katie.
Yeah.
Katie. Mm-hmm. She's those Scottish are you can't trust them.
Yeah, I dated one. God, yeah. We won't talk about that.
Well, now we're going to make you come back and talk about all your dating stories. That's just going to be.
Yeah, we'll
have to do that with when we do the fish comes on and he's going to tell us the story about the acid thing. What was that? I can't remember, but the acid thing and
he started a story about how he ended up in a cloud of acid vapor, and we were like, what movie were you in? Like, what are you talking about? And he was like, no, I have a story about it.
Yeah, it was like we have to. Well, although I mean, let's be fair. This is turning into a show about stories that we have that have nothing to do with the topic. We've been on for almost a whole extra hour now. I'm just realizing.
What the hell?
We should probably let people eat and stuff.
Yeah. You know.
But yeah, we should.
People are probably entertained.
We'll have everybody on that has weird stories to tell, and we can hear stories.
We can have my stories about the Queen, or dating musical theatre actresses, or being cut in school by scalpel blades, or we could go on.
See, we got some stuff. We got some material.
And I draw comics too.
Yes.
I have heard that you do that sometimes.
Occasionally.
We should probably go. So
Yeah.
I mean, the last hour was probably something that would have been better done like off air, so that everybody feel like I mean, I got attacked by a bee. That would have been something that maybe I would rather not be.
We have previous track record, right? Anytime the three of us are on the stream together, this is the shit that people tune in for.
Right.
I'm not going to argue with you. I can't.
They start off being all interested in comics and stuff, and asking valid and intelligent questions, and then they want to know about this shit.
And just so we're clear, the official hour that the show is supposed to be was all Dredd. So we did stop talking about Dredd at that hour mark thereabout.
We did what we were supposed to do.
I was actually very impressed with us. Yay, us.
Exactly what I'm talking about. So okay. It's like there are still people watching, and
really?
I'm sure y'all want to go.
I'm so sorry.
You know, people have told me. I don't know if they told you too, Lori, but they tell me that they'll put this show on and they'll turn it up and they'll go about their evening business and just listen to us go on, and that it's really fun. So we're making people's Monday nights
as long as they're enjoying it.
Yeah, that's what's important.
We are enriching people's lives.
Yes. There was less nudity talked about this time than there is usually, though.
I know.
Yeah, that's
well done us.
Yeah. Yes, it could be a good thing or a bad thing, depending on.
Yeah. No, there was definitely a look of disappointment on Sarah's face there.
Next time.
Hey, look, we've had 2 years inside for long periods of time, Nobody wants to get undressed after 2 years inside,
Bee is back. Can't believe you saw it on there. I have to go back and watch now because the bee,
I'm pretty sure I saw it fly in front. Yeah. But I don't know what it was. It was just a black.
We need to go now so I can wrap myself up in 1,000 blankets and find something to murder that thing with, because it cannot be in the house. That is the one bug I will not scoop up with a paper towel or with a paper plate and put outside. I cannot, no. And I cannot believe that bastard Jeff just left the building and didn't do anything about the bug. He's fucking
I mean, let's be honest. You did start this 2 hours off kind of demeaning the guy, and he's just proved right.
Well, he should be used to that by now.
He's left you defend you for yourself.
All right. Okay. But for real,
right.
Stop. Next week, I won't be on for 2 full hours, and Lawrence James King is going to be with us talking about his book, which I can't remember the name of.
Eviction Bellum, I think it's called.
Yes, thank you. I wrote it down, and then I wrote down his name, and then I didn't write down like the reason, like he's gonna come on and talk about how he does his taxes. That's what we're doing. I didn't write down why he was gonna be here, so which is about like considering the way this whole show has gone, that's par for the like that's right in line with everything else. So it's fine.
Yeah.
We're good. We're fine. So yes, next week, Lawrence James King doing his taxes. And I hope everybody who's still watching, like, congratulations for hanging in there. Like, I am so proud of you. And like also impressed that Ian's still wide awake right now.
Yeah,
and,
like wide awake.
And yeah, so like but for everybody else, I hope you have a wonderful evening and tune in next week at the same time. And we will see you all later and stay super.
Thanks, guys. It's always fun hanging out with you.
Thank you. All right. So bye, everybody.